What, it's just me here? Good evening and welcome to Anchor Watch. We're almost to Anchor Watch. I'm Captain Sean. You'll probably remember me, or maybe not, from season 9. But anyway, like we said 2 weeks ago, we're going to be starting a new segment. It's called Dive In with Captain Sean, where you get to ask all your favorite yachting questions. So this week, you're going to put those in the comments or message us, or you can message me on my Instagram that's Excitement Factory on Instagram, and we'll give you Ask Me Anything. And tonight's yachting fun fact is let's see, what's yachting fun fact? Do you know that the entry to get into yachting, I get this question all the time. How do I get into yachting? And the first thing you need to do is get something called an STCW. And if you tune in next week, I'll tell you what an STCW is. It's not an STD. That's something different. You can definitely get that in yachting, and that's a fun fact. But anyway, STCWs, that's what you need to get into yachting. That is your yachting fun fact for tonight. And now, Jason and Josh.
He couldn't help himself. He could not help himself. We told him to keep it clean. We said we're trying to do a family.
We said
show.
we want it PG, and you made it R.
Rated G
so much.
And the guy, he goes dirty. There we go. Captain Sean, keeping it like a true pirate.
Like, hey guys, welcome to Anchor Watch, our weekly late night below deck chat where Josh and I will take over Up and Adam's channel. By now, you know this. And if you are in the live chat, which tonight we have a lot of people in the live chat because I think, below deck is back. We're not talking about
and we've been gone for I think 9 years. So we're finally back, which is great.
We've been gone for a charter season at least. 100%. Guys, yes, Captain Sean will be back with us next week, of course, for his segment where he answers any yachting questions you guys have. You can post those in the comments below in this video. We will ask them next week, or you can post them in the live chat next week. That'll be a lot of fun. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Not only below deck adventure, below deck med wrap up. I really don't even know where to start, but
you've been on your own little adventures around Florida with some of our friends from below deck.
I have.
We're gonna have to talk about that, but I think, did you actually bring one of them with you today?
I did bring one of them with me. Let's bring them up really quick and welcome Adrienne gang. Hi, Adrienne.
Yay!
Hi.
It's so much fun to be back with you guys. Thank you for bringing me back.
Thank you for being here. So Josh, as you were saying, last week I went to a watch party for Below Deck Adventure and Adrienne was there and we finally got to catch up in person properly. We have a lot of big news, but I wanted to bring Adrienne here to kind of just give us a quick wrap up of Below Deck Med, what she thinks about Below Deck Adventure. And I mean, Adrienne, should we start with some really fun news?
Absolutely. Let's have at it.
I'm going to let you do it.
Okay. I'm super excited that here's hoping that many of you are going to be with us in West Palm Beach Gardens on December 13th, because we are having a watch party for Below Deck Adventure. It's a Tuesday night, so we'll be live. And we will have several of the cast of Below Deck Adventure with us. So we've got them rolling in. Captain Carey will definitely be there. Nathan's going to be there. We hope Lewis is going to make it. He's doing a med crossing, so he's probably going to be there. And we're going to have a lot of other former cast there as well. All of this is to benefit the Children's Museum of the Treasure Coast. And we're going to be doing an awesome toy drive for the kids in the area. So it's going to be an amazing get together. We're also celebrating Captain Carey's birthday. I'm not going to tell you how old he
Yes.
is because that would just be rude.
Well, he's
But
pretty young. He's pretty good looking and young. So
that he is. I'm super excited for this. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're in the Palm Beach area and you want to come and join us, Tuesday, December 13th, it's for a great cause and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So we'll be rolling out some more promotional stuff here pretty soon, and more Below Deck cast that's going to be there. I'm so excited.
It's the perfect season to get together with friends and do some good. So I think this is
absolutely.
This will be awesome.
It's for the kids. Cocktails for the kids. It's for the kids.
Cocktails we were gonna do Botox for the kids too, because that's a very Palm Beach thing, but I think we decided not to.
Well, we were gonna try for the Botox, but I just figured maybe drinking cocktails instead.
You know what? If you drink enough cocktails, you can feel like you've had Botox. So that's great. Oh, true. Jen is in the house. Guys, we are not covering Below Deck Adventure here on Anchor Watch. However, if you want to get your full kind of breakdown of Below Deck Adventure, you can head over to Gangplank Report, of course, with Jennifer Bennington and Adrienne Gang. It's a great podcast.
Subscribe. It's awesome.
You love it.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. And we have somebody special that's helping us cover Below Deck this year because it's too much bandwidth to do both. So we've got somebody that's helping us cover Below Deck OG.
Nice.
So
nice.
It's fun.
Nice. Yeah. I can't wait to break into that. But I have to pick your brain, Adrienne, because Below Deck Med, last week they had the reunion. Well, how did you think that season went? And do you think that they missed anything? Was there something, I don't know how to say it, because it started off as so good. We had a new yacht. Captain Sandy is like in this refreshed mode. I felt like at the beginning we had a great crew, but did you think that, how did you think Below Deck Med ended?
Oh, come on, guys. You both are too harsh. You are both too harsh. What the hell do you expect from these shows?
I can't. I tried so hard to want to like this season. I really, really did. And I Jen and I really committed to it. We were, we started our podcast a couple years ago with the Lexi Below Deck Med season. And so we had committed to this one. And Jen actually ended up doing a podcast all on her own, which if you haven't listened to it, it's the shortest one we've ever done, where she's like, well, this is the plank report because Adrienne gave up on the season and she doesn't want to talk about it anymore. And she did the whole podcast by herself.
You guys are too much. You're too much. You and Jason are too hard.
Wait, hold on. No, if you could say one, like, let's do Rose and Thorn, like they kind of do, right? So like, let's do one Rose of Below Deck Med and one Thorn.
Do I start?
Yes.
Can you find a Rose, Adrienne, or am I going to get all Thorn?
I absolutely can. I absolutely can. I would say for me, the Rose of this season was most definitely watching Sandy take constructive criticism and do something different. I think that she really was shining this season. I think that she's finally listened to the fans and listened to the viewership and paid attention to what everybody was saying about her leadership style. And I think she took that to heart. And I think she did an excellent job. I was really 100%. Impressed with her performance.
Yep. Yeah.
So that would be my Rose. My Thorn is everything else.
That's very subtle. That's that, Adrienne, I wanted to ask you kind of too, because we every week that we do Anchor Watch here, people can donate to World Central Kitchen like you can tonight if you would like to. We've raised almost $1,000, guys, for World Central Kitchen because they're doing a lot of help. Would you like to tell us about World Central Kitchen? Because I know since Hurricane Ian, you have been over in Fort Myers day after day after day, kind of working your ass off for these people. So give us a little insight on World Central Kitchen.
It was, I mean, to tell you, it was the most amazing and the most heartbreaking experience I've ever had. I volunteered to work with them 2 days after the hurricane hit. So we got really lucky here in Tampa. We thought that it was going to come and hit us. And when it didn't, I immediately put out a Facebook post and I said, hey, if anybody from down south needs a place to come and stay, please let me know. Also, if anybody knows of a kitchen that needs hands, let me know. I'm down. And within 2 hours, I had somebody contact me and they were like, here's the contact for World Central Kitchen. I linked up with them. I went down there on a Friday. So the hurricane hit Wednesday. I went down there on Friday. We were based out of a kitchen here in Tampa, a Metropolitan Ministries, and we were making 12,000 meals a day and putting them in hotel pans and sticking them in styrofoam Cambros and putting them on helicopters and flying them.
Wow.
To Fort Myers because we couldn't get through the roads. Like 75 was completely blocked.
The causeways were destroyed.
Everything.
Yeah, it's just
Adrienne, when you're making that much food, like what kind of things are you guys able to make in quantity like that? Like what are you sending to the people?
So we were making basically big one-pot meals. If we were separating it at all, we were cooking like rice and then putting the chicken dish on, the chicken with the sauce and the vegetables on top of it. I'll send you guys a bunch of pictures so you can see what it looks like. But we were doing a lot of pasta with vegetables and meatballs. We were doing like fajita style stuff, but they have a nutritionist that works with them to help build complete meals so that 2 cups of food or, the portion size that we're giving people is calorie dense enough that if that's the only food they eat for the day, that they'll be okay. So we started off that way. And then we migrated once we were able to get through the highway. We were able to go. That was like 5 days later. We were able to go down to Fort Myers, and the Minnesota Twins were amazing. They gave us their spring training facility, so we had that. So that's where we were cooking in these giant, like stainless steel paella pans, and we were at our peak. We were at about 18,000 meals a day that we were doing out of our kitchen.
It was amazing to watch you guys, like, especially on your Instagram. I saw a lot of, you weren't the only below deck chef down there making stuff, but it was interesting to see like all those huge pans that you're describing, like just how much food can go in there.
Were there other chefs? Were there other below deck chefs?
There was Chef Dave. I think there was another one, Chef Dave from Below Deck Med. And Norma asked, Adrienne, how was dinner with the crew? How was Dave's cooking? Did you see Chef Dave at all? Did you meet him?
I did not. I saw him one time for 2 minutes. I was there for 30 days. So he popped over for about an hour and a half, to my knowledge, and took a couple of pictures and left. I was there for 30 days, so I don't know where he was, but I had a bunch of other people ask me too, like, what was it like working with Chef Dave? And I was like, great question. Don't know. Never worked with him.
Wow.
God. Unfortunately, a lot of people do that. That's kind of a social
It's a really weird situation because apparently he did the same thing in Poland where he showed up or signed up for a shift, showed up, took a couple of pictures, and then went back on vacation. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but I wasn't real impressed to hear that either.
Wow. I'm curious because, when Chef Dave did his interview with Adam, apparently he was in Kiev working for World Central Kitchen. So I'm curious to,
maybe he was really in a Motel 6 in Fort Lauderdale or something.
He may have been, because to my knowledge, he was only there once, and it was for a couple of hours when he was in Poland.
Good Lord. Well, speaking of troublemakers, I wanted to get your 2 cents on this because last week Adrienne and I were at this like below deck like kind of watch viewing party, right? And it was really fun to get to catch up with you finally in person. But we got had a wind of one of the former crew of Below Deck Adventure, Kyle, who
oh my God
ran onto a soccer field and I guess just went crazy and then offered the cops like $300 to let him go. And then he was taken in. Lovely mugshot, but as they do in Florida. But what are you thinking about Below Deck Adventure this season? And how do you think it compares to other seasons of Below Deck?
First of all, clearly the decision that Carrie made to oust him in the first couple episodes was a solid decision because bye. Also, it's not like that was even a major league soccer game. It was like a C-level club team. Like, why do you think that anybody's going to care?
This is like a World
Whoever's
Cup
playing.
thing.
No, this is not the world in Qatar. Like he just got fired and then went to Qatar. Like
no,
I
he's
feel
at
like
like a C-level stadium in
Yeah,
Fort
he's at, like,
Lauderdale.
college soccer.
Lame. Totally lame.
Yeah.
Lame.
Yeah, like what on earth possesses you to do that? Like maybe at the World Cup I could possibly understand, and there's probably 10,000 other people that are trying to do it with you, but like this? What?
This
What?
whole time I thought
mean,
this
we
was like
saw-
a World Cup thing, and I was like, oh, impressive. Okay.
That would be way more interesting. But it was funny to watch him kind of unravel a little bit just in those first few episodes. It's like he kind of came off like a bit aggressive and intimidating, to the rest of his crew. And that's never really probably a good start when you start a charter season with a new crew. I mean, as you know, you've been on the ship before. You've been there.
I think it's good to start every relationship with making the other people feel uncomfortable and scared. That's my
Kendra said he wanted attention clearly. I think he wanted attention on the show too. But Adrienne, you did tell me something last week. You said this is a new production company doing Below Deck Adventures. So it is very different. And it is kind of reminiscent of your season 1 of Below Deck. It just gives that, I don't know, it kind of, it's very, how do I say it?
Does it feel more like a documentary than it does a reality show?
At least it doesn't feel like the Blair Witch Project, which I can honestly say happened a couple of times during my season. They've gotten that better, under control. But it does really feel like a freshman season of anything. Like
it feels
even
gritty.
Below Deck Med was, it does. And I especially with like the unlubed beginning we had to this without even getting to know the crew before we just went right into the storyline.
Pushed it in dry. Yeah.
Yep.
God.
Yeah.
Nothing short of anything
you said
here.
This was a family show.
I know.
No,
you know what?
no.
Sean ruined it. I'm blaming Sean for that comment.
Sean started with the STs at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, what can
I
we
have
do?
no control over my own mouth. It's Sean.
Guys, I just want to, and I want to get your opinion on this too, Adrienne, before I let you go, because I know you're busy, and we really appreciate you joining us this late at night, because I know you're just like right over there. Where are you right now? Are you home?
I'm in Tampa.
Okay, so you're like right over there. But I asked, who is your favorite captain currently? Because we have 3 captains, one that just finished, Sandy, one who might be back, Sandy, Captain Lee, and Captain Carrie. And Captain Carrie and Sandy are kind of like head for head here. Lee just came up to like 50%, but Lee is still kind of the favorite. We see Lee in this season. I don't know if you're watching this season. Are you watching this season?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. We see Lee in the season. He's struggling with his back. He had surgery. His nerve is like, he goes numb at one point. He's on crutches. This is kind of a hazard on a boat, don't you think?
100%. So there's absolutely, utterly no way that he would have post-surgery, major surgery especially, would have been able to pass his medical exam to be able to be insured to run that boat. There's no way. So what I will say is that there's most definitely somebody else that's already there keeping an eye on that stuff. I mean, we know there's a first officer and we know that there's an engineer. Those people are there, but there's also definitely a relief captain that's on standby, because there's no way that he would have been able to pass the medical exam after post major surgery like that to be able to drive that boat himself. So it doesn't matter. This is a farewell season for him. This is so that he doesn't leave awkwardly by just not returning. I think this is Bravo's attaboy to him. Like, thanks very much for everything. All right, you're done now. Like, he gets to leave on his own terms saying, I'm not in good health. It's time for me to go spend time.
If he would have left any time, I would have really wished it would have been season 8, because he had to go through season 9, which besides Captain Sean, let's be honest. And then now we're in this season, and it's like you have to maybe possibly, I mean, I don't think he's gonna finish the season. That's just kind of what I'm getting. But
my over-under is 6 episodes. And I honestly, the fact that he just had whatchamacallit, that he was just on Watch What Happens Live tells me that he actually probably leaves even sooner than that, because that's almost a dead indication. If you're on Watch What Happens Live early in the season, then we're not going to see you. Just like I don't think Camille is going to last in this season.
Do you not?
No, because they're showing a
Oh
lot.
God, I
of
can't wait to
footage
get
of her.
into this, Josh. I can't wait.
They're
I cannot
front loading
wait.
the season with her,
My
so that
thing
tells
is,
me
too,
that she's probably not going to be around for long.
Well,
That's
my thing
interesting.
with Captain Lee too is, I mean, there obviously has to be someone on board like Ghost captaining this. That is insanely dangerous to have a guy whose whole body is going numb at the helm. Like that just sounds insane. You know, and like you said, Adrienne, there's no way he would pass his health check and then go ahead, go captain a ship with, 20 souls on board. Like that's insane.
Especially because you have to imagine if he's in that much pain, he's on some kind of painkillers.
Oh yeah.
And you would hope.
In this last episode, his whole body was given out. He was like throwing his arms onto the console and stuff. Yeah, he just I
mean, it's sad because look, as much as I dislike the man personally, I don't ever want to see somebody go down like that. I'd rather him go down swinging and just leave. You know what I mean? But this is where we are, and this is what happens when you hold on too tightly to something for too long. There's such a thing as a graceful exit. So
yeah, 100%. And I'm curious to see who's gonna. I mean, we've talked about who's gonna replace Captain Lee on this show before. I think you and I have talked about it too. But I'm curious to see how the rest of the season would go. Listen,
I
Camille,
think
it's
going
so funny.
to meet this person on the 13th.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh, then maybe it's not who we thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be Captain Crunch from the cereal, but I guess.
I love it. Okay, guys, I have to ask you really quick. Is this Camille or is this Caroline Stanbury from The Real Housewives of Dubai? I just don't know. I don't know.
Are they related? Are they sisters?
They look.
I feel like it's undercover. Well, this is one of our good friends, Caroline Stanbury, and then this is, of course, Camille. And I'm just like, they're both C's, but Caroline is British. She lives in Dubai. Camille is obviously not, but it really got me thinking. It got me thinking for a second. I'm like, Caroline, are you trying to get on another Bravo show? Are you really trying to do that? You don't need the money.
Or maybe
she's your
like
friend. I hope
sending a doppelganger so that subliminally Bravo would be like, we need her back. Like, we need that person because it's just continually in your mind because she's now on Below Deck.
Well, okay, before Josh and I get started into this recap and like start babbling away, what do you think this season will bring? Obviously, we're seeing a lot of tension between Alyssa, who is the second stew. We're seeing a lot of tension between her and Camille. And you said maybe Camille won't last. She's the first floater we've seen on Below Deck. She's doing both jobs. She's exterior, interior. We haven't really seen her exterior yet, but do you think that she'll...
we've seen her exterior.
No one knows her exterior better than the deckhand
caught
Ben.
A glimpse of her interior too, I think. We would have stayed on had a couple if the hot tub was working. So
So what do you think we're heading with Camille? You think that she's not going to last?
Yeah. I think after Lee, she's the first to go, if not beforehand. I think Lee over under is 6 episodes. I would say she's probably 7 or 8, maybe. Because everybody's going to reel. I think she's going to cause chaos because then Boat Daddy or whatever the heck they call him isn't there anymore. And I think it's just going to spiral.
Oh, interesting.
If not sooner, because if she really F's up, then they'll get rid of her faster. Especially if he's in pain, he has no tolerance for bullshit now. He's like, just go.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, Stu, just because you were the first person on Below Deck to have this position of chief stew, even though you were a chef, you got, kind of pushed into this role. What do we think about Frasier, and do you think he will last? Because since Kate Chastain left, since you left, and Kate Chastain came in, since you left, there's been really no original chief stew, let's be honest. But Kate Chastain was, there for a long time, a huge hit with the audience. We've gone through multiple other chief stews that haven't worked out. Heather from last season. Now we have Frasier. And do you think he'll last? I really, really, really have high hopes for Frasier right now.
I would very much like to hope that he does, because he seems like a solid kid, although in the first 2 episodes that we've seen, he hasn't displayed a ton of leadership ability yet.
Yes.
And maybe that's just because he's working into it. Maybe it's because he's nervous that you're on a show. And so that adds a whole different element of strangeness to this, right? I would like to see him maybe get some permanent tattoo eyebrows, because I feel like that would show his facial expression a little bit better. Because I need that for me.
Maybe if he drew him in kind of like this, then he would always look like he means business. You know?
You're like, whoa, yeah, I'll do my job.
Hey,
like,
hey,
I got it. Yeah. I'm good.
No, but then that's like right back to resting bitch face, and we don't need that shit anymore. What I would really much rather have is just to be able to see his facial expressions a little bit more defined, and I think that would be better. But he seems great. Look, I've never had an issue with him. I think he seems wonderful. I hope he grows into this in a way that's comfortable for him, because that is the challenge, is being able to step into that and not be too much in your head. And right now, these first couple episodes, I just see him being a little too much in his head and not paying enough attention to everything else.
I think it's all a setup by production. I think we're going to see him struggle at the beginning, and I think he's going to elevate, step up, and then be like, okay, you bitches are not doing the job that I'm asking for. I'm going to come in a little stronger, and then we'll see him win at the end, because everyone, I feel, is a little bit disposable in Below Deck, besides the chief stew, the captain, and the chef. The bosun, the deckhands, the rest of them, every season you could change it would be fine. But as long as we keep that triangle of leadership, I guess, I think it works. I mean, that's what I'm noticing now. So I would really like to see him win. He is the first gay chief stew. That's great. We love that.
Well,
we love that.
Not entirely correct, because I mean, I guess male gay, yes, but Kate at one point in time was for 5 minutes. So there's that.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Adrienne, you make me laugh.
But I hope that somebody's going to have to carry this franchise in order for people to want to watch it. If they
100%.
really give Frasier, a redemption arc here, and he really pulls through, and they show him as a rock star this season, it's probable that he will go on to do more seasons in the future. And that would be very cool, because he might actually be able to carry this in a way that nobody else has before him. I believe that them bringing Sandy in place of Lee is very much intentional, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because they need a sacrificial lamb. They know that anyone that they choose, just like what you saw happen with Captain Sean, anyone they choose to replace Lee right off the bat is going to be slaughtered at the altar. No one is.
Yes.
The same thing with the chief stew, whose name I can't remember, that came after Kate was done. Was
it Francesca, or was that? Am I thinking of a different?
Was it Francesca, and then somebody else was on med after Hannah? Either way, it doesn't matter.
Maybe
they're forgettable. They're forgettable. Whoever came after Hannah, whoever came after Kate, it's forgettable.
Right.
Because they were a sacrificial lamb. They knew that those people were never going to be able to make the mark that the previous favored cast were. Same thing with Lee. So Sandy coming in, they know that she can handle it. Whoever comes after her will be the next generation, the next iteration of this show. And they've already started setting us up for young, attractive, funny, smart, interesting captains like Jason and Carrie. I hope this trend continues.
And Sean.
And Sean. I want Sean to come back. They just didn't give him a fair shake.
I this is the thing about this season too, and I guess from what I'm getting is Sandy's coming in at some point, because we need someone to come in, right?
Right.
And right now she's a fan favorite. She's she's great. She has a new podcast, which actually is amazing, by the way, with her partner. But we have this crew that is just kind of hot, fun, and a little
nuts,
salacious. Yeah, crazy. They're all crazy. I can't even think of when Frasier is gonna be shitting himself by the end of the season.
I can't wait to see what Haley does. I feel like she's been holding back these first, or we just haven't seen much of her. But I feel like once she comes out of the gate, everybody hold on to your pants.
I feel like
not.
Haley is essential Bravo television. This is like housewife material. You're crazy, you're fun, you're a good time, and we're about to see it, and it's going to be a train wreck. And you're probably going to be back next season because it's going to be that good.
Yeah.
Well, I think the difference with going back to the captain thing, I think Captain Sandy has been prepped to take this franchise. The difference is, if it was just Captain Lee's gone and they wanted to replace him, I could see people being mad, not liking Captain Sandy. The fact that he's going to get this whole, like, she's being set up to save the day. He's leaving in a way that's like people are feeling empathetic, but they know he has to go and they have to let him go.
He's leaving with the hero story.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're like, everyone sees him struggling and they're like, okay, it's time. We got to let Captain Lee go. As opposed to, why did you take Captain Lee from us? It's like, we're all going through it with him and going, yeah, it's time. He's got to leave. And so that's why I actually think Captain Sandy is coming in and is going to be here to stay. That's what I think. I think she's taking on the main franchise going forward.
I don't know about that.
Well,
I don't know about that. I'm not sure. We need her in the med.
I don't think she'll stay. I know.
I don't-
In fact, I know she won't stay.
I don't know what to say right now.
She's coming in as a placeholder because there's really nobody else that can do this in his stead mid-season that everyone
100%.
will on some level vibe with, just to be able to get through the rest of the season.
She knows how to captain a boat. She knows how the cameras work. She knows what she needs to do to keep the season current, refreshed. I cannot wait to see her with Rachel. I can't wait to see her with Frasier and that whole crazy crew. I'm actually really excited to see how
Adrienne,
that's going to work out.
Without saying who, then, do you think we will meet that new captain this season? Is Captain okay? So you think we're gonna ride out the rest of the season with Captain Sandy, and then we'll meet a new captain?
Yeah, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense to bring them in the 11th hour, especially if you want the fan base. We're gonna have a whole 10 months in between the end of this show and the beginning of the next one for people to reset with Below Deck Sailing. They'll get to reset with Below Deck Med. And then we'll be back into this, and it'll be like, oh, Lee's not here, but let's see what this new person has.
Okay.
All right. I'm excited. I think it's a great call. It's a great call. And I think that you're finishing with Below Deck, and then you're going to go into sailing we have a steady crew, right? We have Captain Glenn. We have Colin, I hope, who's back. Daisy, Gary. We have that whole situation happening. I think it's great.
It's too bad that the other franchises haven't found the money team like that.
I feel like the other franchises, and correct me if I'm wrong, because tell me how you feel. Below Deck Down Under, I feel like really, really should have been more spotlighted, than it was. It was kind of, we're putting it on Peacock, and eventually it will be on Bravo, and then whatever. But I loved Aisha. I loved Captain Jason. I loved Toomey, actually. And
I think they underestimated the success of that show.
100%. You're underestimating the landscape and where it was, and
which is why they ended up putting Below Deck Adventure straight to Bravo instead of 6 months early on Peacock, and then let's finally air it. They blew their load on Below Deck Down Under by putting it on Peacock, and then it lost lots of the momentum. But then they realized how much people absolutely loved it. Toomey is adorable. Aisha's great. Jason's amazing. They had so many really likable and adversely so many unlikable cast members on that show that it was a really good hot mess. Exactly what you hope that this show will be. And I think every first season of this show has been like that. And that's why I'm really excited about what I'm seeing on Below Deck Adventure, because especially tonight, even watching the hot tub scene where the entire crew is in there, and it just gets messy and a little bit confrontational, but not Lexi, fire out of her eyes confrontational, just a little bit snarky and shitty, and setting it up for better conflict in the future, and it just really reminds me of my season, because it's a little bit of a mess. And that's
and that grit that production has with this franchise reminds me of like you said, your season 1.
Yeah.
Season 1. Brian, the tea is piping tonight, but if you want more tea, you have to go listen to Gangplank Report. It is the best Below Deck podcast you will find because you have, well, Adrienne and Jennifer to walk you through the coals. Adrienne, it is such a pleasure to have you on here. Guys, again, if you are in the South Florida area, we are doing a cast member watch party with Adrienne. This is going to be a lot of fun. It all goes to benefit the Children's Museum of the Treasure Coast. We're going to have a great time. I can't wait.
We're going to have a lot of fun.
With 2 weeks to go, too, I have to imagine you guys are going to scrounge up some other cast members. Once the word gets out, I think...
It's slowly but surely, slowly but surely.
We've already got a couple other people that are tentatively in the works for this. Yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a difficult time of year because it's the holidays, but it's kind of right smack dab in the middle of Thanksgiving and Christmas. And people are like, well, what am I going to do on a Tuesday? Come party with us.
Yeah.
Cocktails for the kids.
Yes, cocktails for the kids.
Cocktails for us.
Cocktails
for the kids.
In support of the kids.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Adrienne, we're going to let you go. We love you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. And
thank you for coming.
I cannot wait to hang out in 2 weeks.
Yay! Josh, if you want to get on a flight, I'm not going to be upset about it.
Neither will I.
It's tough right now, guys. It's tough right now.
We have the floor. We can put you on the floor here.
Well, when you make it sound that good.
There you go.
I mean, shit, I have an air mattress. I'll bring it.
Oh my God. Guys, I'm too old for that crap.
I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Adrienne.
And thank you for
you.
donating to World Central Kitchen. It really means a lot.
Yeah, if anyone wants to donate, we are at every, even if you're watching the replay, you can still donate. Every penny that comes out of this live tonight goes straight to World Central Kitchen.
I can promise you, I was in the kitchen.
Everything.
I was in the kitchen every single day. And as a general rule, I don't endorse charities, but I saw where that money was going every single day. And I was interacting with the people that were impacted by it and who were legitimately walking up to me and hugging me and thanking me for serving them pasta and meatballs because it was the first hot food they had in days. Like it really does make a difference. And so anything you can give, we appreciate it.
I love that. Well, thank you, Adrienne. We appreciate you and we will talk soon.
Awesome. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, what a pleasure. And Brian is right. The tea is popping, and the only tea about Below Deck you can find out is by going to Gangplank Report and listening. It's so fun to watch Adrienne because she knows everyone in the industry.
She finds out
she
stuff.
has been there.
And she knows stuff. She knows.
It's not she finds out and knows stuff. I think she puts people on the show. You know what I mean? Like she knows people. So it's a lot of fun. And if you guys can join us, it will be so much fun. Just want to read the comments and I want to say hello to everyone. Elaine, Annika, Kendra, Brian, everyone who's in the chat. Shelly. Yes, we love Tumi. She's fantastic. I think she's going to be on Med just from some of the photos we've seen pop up, but I'm not sure. Yes, Down Under was amazing. And the landscape of Down Under was incredible. So we loved that. All right, Josh, I need your opinion on this season 10, not season 9 of Below Deck, but season 10. How do you think this is starting out? Where do you think we're going with this?
I think it's going to be entertaining. I told my wife after we watched episode 1, a ship full of dummies. But
wait. This season or which season are you talking about?
Yes, I think it's a ship full of dummies, but they're going to be entertaining as hell. That's what I think.
I mean, look.
Could he moan louder while he's working out every move he takes?
Listen, let's go through the cast really quick because we have a new cast, guys. There's over 100 in the room. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Help us out. That is the best tip you can give us. It's better than any other tip you can give us, unless you ask Josh. There might be other tips you might like better.
What?
All right, I think we have a kind of a dynamic cast because they're kind of a mess. They're hot, they're messy, they're whatever. But first and foremost, I do want to say we have our first gay chief stew officially, Frasier, which Gangplank Report and Jen have said we hope he lasts. I hope he lasts too, because I would like to see some consistency right? We're finding it with a chef. I don't know if Chef Rachel will be here after this season. Obviously Captain Lee is not. So we have to start this triangle I was talking about, this triangle of leadership all over again. But when you get it right, you know?
You know what? We were a fan of his from the first time we watched him.
Absolutely.
I think he's going to be great. One of the things that I think people are forgetting, and I think everyone from Chef Rachel to the crew, mostly the interior crew, the size of this yacht is daunting. And so to do anything takes a lot of extra steps. And so I think what they're doing is they're just getting used to performing on a bigger stage. And that takes some time. That means working out your timing a little differently. I think that's where we're seeing the struggle. And then, of course, you know, with him, it's his first time in front of the camera. He has been chief. He shared that he was doing that on his last charter. He was chief. So it's not like the first time he was chief. But this is the first time in front of cameras, you know, the added pressure. It's a big, huge yacht. So I think it's just, he's working out timing and stuff. I think he's such a, you know, he takes on a lot of work himself. I mean, we saw the first episode, he stayed up super late so his team can go to bed, and he did a ton more work into the morning. I think
he's figuring out how to be organized on this big yacht. You know what I mean? Like I just, he's kind of coming into this like, I don't know. There was an interview with him saying that this has taken a toll on his health a little bit because he wasn't expecting it to be so overwhelming. But I think if anyone can handle it, it's this guy right here.
I have zero doubts.
Kendra, I don't know about this.
No, he does not look like Prince Harry.
No,
we'll show you who he looks like.
Frasier, and she'll be just fine, I think. I hope. Okay, so we have some other cast members. Of course, Frasier has, you know, Camille right here, front and center. And how do you think this is going to go?
Here's the deal. Is she nice to look at? Of course. Is she nice to interact with? Not really. Which of course means we're going to get great TV out of her. But I don't think she, I mean, she's not a nice person, obviously. Like, I don't think she's a nice person. She's very much me focused and, you know, wants to be center of attention and stuff. So I'm not the biggest fan of her as a person. Totally a fan of her in the cast. So
how do you think it's going to go with her and Alyssa, though? Because I mean, listen, I don't know if I agree with Camille on Alyssa's leadership skills, but I think Frasier made a right choice to make Alyssa the second stew instead of Camille, right? Camille is the floater. We have Haley too, but Haley has been off and on in yachting. She hasn't really like committed to like being there all the time, right? So you're just left with Alyssa, which I actually think she is great. But do you get Camille's argument sometimes when she's like, that's not how you talk to someone? Or do you think Camille is just kind of
no, I don't think
confused about what her job is?
I think Camille is the type of person who, no matter what you say, if it's negative towards her, you didn't say it the right way. She doesn't want to hear it. I mean, she was straight up lazy and being called out for it, throwing 3 bottles in a fridge when they've got a boat full of people. It's like, stock up the waters. Like when they say to fill the fridge, fill the fridge.
Fill the fridge. I mean, it's not that hard, right? I mean, do you think that because she is a floater, which is the first time we've been introduced to this on Below Deck, someone who is doing like both jobs, right? She hasn't really needed to be a necessity on the exterior, but to go to Adrienne's point, thinking that they're giving her a lot of attention and that she might not last the rest of the season, they might figure out that they can work without a floater.
Well, so the only time the exterior seems to need her is when they're docking. You know what I mean? Like, and they need an extra hand. Other than that, it's like, you know, they could probably train someone on the interior. Hey, run out here. Anytime we're going to dock, you're going to be your job. You're going to throw this rope. You know what I mean?
You know, every time that we pull up to like a restaurant or a dock or a beach, I'm like, I rely on Adam. I'm like, can you please just put the anchor over, like, or put the fenders over, or throw the line to the guy, and Adam will like get ready. And as we're pulling like 3 feet before the dock, he's like sitting down back on his phone. I'm like, Dude, I need you to do something. Like, what are you doing? So
Below
Adam would
deck
be a
Jason
great
and Adam.
floater.
That would be amazing. Below deck
No,
Jason.
we're not doing that.
The two of you in a little boat going around screaming at each other. I would love it.
But as you mentioned, we do have a new boat. We have the Motor Yacht St. David, which is amazing. I think St. Lucia is a great landscape, a great place to do this, because I thought St. Kitts would be like that with season 9, and it just wasn't.
No.
And I'm sure the pandemic had something to play in that too. But I'm glad to see that. We have a hot, interesting crew. Frasier is back. Chef Rachel is back. How do you think she's going to do this season?
Great, but we saw episode 1. She needs to get used to her pantry. Essentially, her fridge is 3 blocks away in this new boat, and so her timing was thrown off completely because of that. But is she skilled? Will she deliver? Of course. Like, I think she'll just come up with tricks like, oh, you know, I need to, when I'm prepping, I need to make time where I need to, you know, set schedule so I have time to run down and grab the next, you know, load of what I need to cook and stuff like that. So I think just like Frasier, getting used to the size of the boat, it's the same for her. But I think she'll be great. Of course, she's great for TV. We love her. She's, you know, a Hall of Famer, you know, as far as below deck cast people go.
So far, you know, I'm really curious to see, like, after the whole spat she had with Bravo, right? Because she had already filmed this before BravoCon, and she had this whole like outburst that she kind of put out there, and which probably she had every right to do. I can only imagine working for Bravo, but it, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, we may not see her anymore.
We might not see her anymore, but she was a big part of promoting this show. So I'm really curious. Okay, let's move on for the rest of the cast really quick, because I just want to go through them and just get your 2 cents. We have Alyssa. I think she makes a great second stew.
Yep.
We have Ben, the deckhand. I think he's interesting. I don't know why he's falling for her BS right now, but I think he is.
Well, I can tell you why.
Tell me.
I mean, she's
it's
attractive.
Something I can't understand. So.
So Jason, she would be what we call an attractive girl. So.
Okay, interesting. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
We also have Ross, which we haven't seen shine too much. Like, he's pretty like low key.
Yeah, I do think he's 11 going on 12, possibly 12 going on 13 by all of the jokes he says. Anytime anybody says anything
I am 16 going on 17.
remotely near sexual, he has to point it out, you know. He's the kind of guy who's like, when they announce like, oh, you know, how much more luggage is that? There's 2 more loads. 2 loads. He is like Beavis and Butthead. Like, I swear to God, every time he says something, my wife and I just look at each other and go, how old is this guy?
Yeah, are you like 5? I mean, but he has had a big career, according to his CV, according to the show. He's been around yachts
I think
forever.
He's competent at the work. I think he's going to be great at the work. As a person, I think he's wildly immature. So it'll be a great season. I think he'll say.
I think that, who do you think would be Ross's match? Do you think it would be Haley? Because as Adrienne said too, I think Haley is like TV gold, right? She's been on and off yachting forever, but she's just up front in there. She's already established a relationship with Frasier, a good relationship, which I think will grow as the season continues. But she is Bravo. Haley is Bravo. So I don't think we're going to see her go anywhere. And I don't know. Thoughts?
So, you know, this is my one Bravo show I watch, but from what you describe and the way you described her tonight and stuff, she sounds like a Bravo person to me. She sounds like a Bravo cast member. Out, like, big, garish personality.
Is that what?
Aren't the housewives all like loud maniacs? Like,
I mean, is that what we're calling her?
Well, no, she's not a loud maniac. What I mean is,
I think
she is very outgoing. She's not soft-spoken in her presentation.
No, and it's only the first few episodes. It's
yeah,
only the first 2, right? And like,
she's not shy.
She's there. She's
dirty.
Not shy. She's not trying too hard, like Caroline Stanbury. Oh, sorry, Camille here.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we do have Katie, who I think is going to be kind of like. Do you remember Kelsey from Below Deck Sailing?
Yeah,
how Kelsey was like really funny. Katie seems like this, like, kind of like, I don't even think this picture does her justice. I think she seems like a very cute girl who is ready to dive in and get dirty with the boys. Like, she will put them to shame, and I kind of almost see it happening.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, she reminds me of I can't think of her name, who we had a season or two ago. Or no, she was with this is gonna come out. I will tell you guys next season. I start forgetting everyone's names. But it was another gal who was on the crew who was the same thing, where it's like down to, keep up with the guys, was totally like.
Not Kelsey? You're not thinking of Kelsey from
Kelsey.
Sailing?
Maybe it is Kelsey. You know what? It is Kelsey.
She almost looks like her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Very
Kelsey, but
personalities.
Kelsey was so nonchalant. Like, she was just so like nonchalant, not affected by anything. So
100%
like,
pleasant, and like always down to help. There never seems like a job that's too hard. She's like, okay, let's do it. And I think she's gonna be great. I think she's gonna be like one of those people that, if we see her on multiple seasons, we'll be like, oh yeah, it makes sense. She's a hard worker. She's like, can actually help, get the job done. And she's cute. She was wearing her little Playboy thing. I was like, hey.
Wait. I have a photo of that.
Oh, please tell me you do. Oh, well, that's not the best
There's
shot.
Katie, the deckhand. Well, I mean, listen, you always got to be prepared. Yeah, I think she's going to be great. So let's get into the season. The season is already off to like kind of a crazy start. We have great charter guests. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better than this. Hold on. I have some photos, I promise. I love this moment too, where they're calling Captain Lee like Hugh Hefner. These are the former Mormons who have chartered the yacht, and we all know some former Mormons.
Hello,
who love a good drink, but they really love a good drink. I'm like, holy shit. Like, you're like throwing up, dang.
Yeah. Got a little wild, got a little crazy. I will say this though, they're the kind of guests that I like to see get wild on the boat, because they're not rude or mean to the crew. We've had those guests that are like, they get wild and they get like super mean, and you're like, what the hell? So yeah, I thought they were great. That mouthpiece is crooked in that pipe, but anyways,
it's very backwards.
Turn sideways.
No, but with this first charter and this first charter guest and the next one that we have a preview for episode 3, I'm like, we are off to a great start. These are overwhelming guests, so we're putting everyone to the test in the interior. Like, just crazy. But the exterior, it's interesting to watch. Where we are in St. Lucia. Just deal with the winds, deal with just how things are different there.
Yeah, they have elements they're going to be dealing with.
They really do.
I think that's going to give us some interesting stuff. I like when there's challenges. I don't like when there's shitty people. I like when there's challenges, though. Challenging guests, but in a good way. This tip was big. I was surprised at how big a tip they got. Considering that first night was kind of a little slow start, but these people all seem super appreciative of the team's efforts and saw that they were, doing their best to give them a good time, and ultimately, delivered. But
I mean, listen, we just watched Below Deck Med, where like every other episode, Sandy had to bring the yacht back in, or there was something was too much. The weather was bad. We're in St. Lucia. We're in season, where it's like, I mean, down here in Florida, we're in season, and it's now the time to be here and have calm waters and pretty blue waters and bright blue skies. There's no hurricanes and storms, but we watched her consistently have to come in and stuff, and they don't really have to deal with that. But what they do have to deal with, and I just want to come back to this photo really quick. How did you feel about like Camille and Ben like jumping in the water? Do you think that's just part of the yachting industry? It's like, okay, we have an opportunity to like jump in the water really quick before the guests get here. Or do you think that
there's a time
you should really be getting prepared for this? You can do this on your day off. You can jump off the fucking boat whenever you want. Like, why?
You know what? We've seen where the crew will do that when they have a little bit of time. Your first charter and your first time working with this crew is not the time to pull this kind of crap. Like,
yeah,
I think halfway into the season when when they got their timing down and they all know each other and stuff, and they're like, well, crap, we got 45 minutes. Let's all go jump in the water real quick. I think that is part of doing the job, you know, is finding those moments to also have fun, but not first day. You know, I thought that was just not a smart move on their part.
Not a smart move. I mean,
I wouldn't.
Okay, well, I mean, Camille and Ben, right? I really do like their story, though, and I like the stories that we kind of get out of Below Deck. We had none that were very interesting in Below Deck Med besides Dave and Natasha's bullshit. But I did like the story of them feeling like Camille and Ben, that they both shared stories of running away and reinventing themselves from issues they had or whatever. And I kind of compared it to like you and I running away and joining the circus. You know, it's like, you can go reinvent yourself. You can be whoever you want to be. And I thought that was so interesting. I don't think it will last. I don't think like this, I don't know.
No, and we'll see who ends up hooking up with who in a few weeks. This is, you know, people, this is their first time meeting each other, their first time going out and stuff like that. They're going to get to know who each other is. Really, and then we may be surprised at pairings that happen, you know, 3 episodes from now.
100%. I'm going to look at the comments really quick because we need to talk about someone else. Shelly Ross, Wolverine. That's really funny. I'm really curious though, because we haven't seen much of his leadership skills yet. You know, he hasn't really had to like put on anything, or we haven't seen it from editing, but it seems like he's pretty like on point. They came in from their night out. They're like, we have to be up at 7:15 in the morning. Cool. We'll see how he handles that.
He's also got a good crew. He's got a good crew too. Like they're amicable. There doesn't at least appear to be a lazy person in the bunch. So
yeah,
he doesn't have to drop the hammer, you know?
No, 100%. The only person that that tablescape is bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad, but we're not really focusing on that. It seems like the only person we haven't talked about is our friend Tony. He's a very worldly, kind guy. He reminds me of a lot of people we've met in the circus. I like Tony. I think he's a good balance to the rest of the crew.
Yeah, he's a very gentle soul. He seems like a very nice guy. I think his heart's in the right place. A little goofy, makes me laugh sometimes.
A little goofy. I mean, like we'll see how he gets along with the rest of the crew moving forward. I mean, there's lots of capoeira and like, you know, stuff happening in the morning.
His morning workout of like, like that was a little intense. So especially like the camera kept rolling. It was like 3 hours later, he's still out on the deck going, you know, so
yeah, it started at like 4:30 and then he like finished at 7:30. It's like, damn, that's why you have abs. Like you actually do your fucking workout. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this season and to kind of dive into it because I really think the crew is going to leave us with nothing but great things to talk about every week.
Yes.
I guess I just kind of want to ask you, because I mean, I know Adrienne kind of spilled the beans a little bit, but we expect Captain Sandy to be coming to replace Lee, like we've said many times on the show before, within the next few episodes. How do you think that dynamic is going to change? Because I feel like right now everyone's just like riding a wave. Do we think we've just seen Sandy on Below Deck Med kind of take that criticism she received, and she's not micromanaging anyone? She's on this boat where like Dave and Natasha are taking over the whole fucking season with their dumb love story, right?
Yes.
And now she's going to come in and she might have to micromanage here. She might have to.
Yeah, you know, part of us, like right now, the crew, for one, they're new, and so everyone tends to work harder when they're new. They just arrive, they need to impress. We've not seen them get comfortable yet. And for right now, their captain is just really kind of locked to the wheelhouse. So it's not like he has the opportunity to get up and around the boat much. And so it's kind of like the cat's away so the mice can play. It'll be different when Captain Sandy is there and able-bodied and able to get around that boat.
Yeah.
And let's see when the crew gets comfortable if they keep their level of service up. I mean, we saw it last season where the level of service dipped because of the love fights and blah, blah, blah. Kyle was getting a little lazy there, and so I think we'll see how it. This is also a young crew, and so they got to be reminded.
I mean, listen, I think we're here for it. We're here for
Oh
it.
yeah, it's gonna be great.
All right, I just want to look at the comments just a little bit. Shelly says, I can say once a former Mormon gives up on their religion's rules, they go wild. I mean, listen, I didn't, but I mean, yes, I've seen that before 100%. This season gonna be something, and I agree with you 100%. And then Kath Media said not during charter, and I think you're referring to maybe Caroline / Camille jumping in the water with Ben. 100%. Shelly, there has been no slide yet. There has been pictures. Hold on, I think I have one of the yacht, not this one. Let me see. With the slide. So I think they're going to have a slide, but I'm not sure. I thought I had another one.
Doesn't the slide
not
seem like
this
the
one.
most annoying thing in the world?
Yeah, and what to do it like once or twice? Like,
Yeah,
just jump off the damn boat.
yeah. I would be like, if
like
I was chartering, I'd be like, don't set up that damn thing. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, please focus on getting me my meal on time,
Yeah.
putting those jet skis out, and let me jump off the whatever deck you're jumping off. That looks like fun.
Yeah,
that really looks like fun.
Poop, probably the poop deck.
Just all right, guys. As we end off tonight, we will be back next week to recap episode 3 of season 10, which I'm so excited about. But like Adrienne and I talked about at the beginning, we do have a cast member watch party that is going to benefit the Children's Museum of the Treasure Coast. We cannot wait for this. It's also Captain Carey's birthday. If you are in Palm Beach County, Broward, Miami-Dade, Martin County, wherever you are, you're in South Florida, please come join us at Patty Mac's in Palm Beach Gardens. It's going to be such a great time. I can attest to that. I was there last week. It was so fun, and I can't wait. But we are not the only event happening that week. Captain Sandy is also doing a concert called Christmas with Love, and you will meet a lot of amazing cast members, and then her partner, Leah Ray, is also singing there. Captain Sandy and Leah do also have a podcast that is super just amazing to listen to, called the Captain Sandy and Leah Ray Show. With her and her partner, they talk about so many things that are not really pertaining to Below Deck, and it's actually really, really interesting. Yeah, so
I've listened.
Check it out if you haven't already.
And join us next week where I'll be asking Captain Sean what the poop deck is.
We're gonna ask Captain Sean what the poop deck is. We'll be seeing him next week. We also have a big crowd next week. We're going to bring everyone back. Bailey, Natalie, Greg will all be here next week with Captain Sean. He'll kick us off with questions. So go ahead and leave your questions in the comments below. If you're watching a replay, guys, 110 in the room, please hit that like button. It helps us out.
Give us a big tip, please.
Big tip. We love a big tip. We love a big tip, especially around these waters.
Oh boy, here we go.
Don't know what that means. On that, guys, have a good night. Josh, we'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye, everyone.